important thing when applying makeup is to have a beautifully prepared face. We want no excess oils on the skin, and we want a beautiful, even moisturized canvas. We don't want any dry areas in certain parts of the face because product can build up there. So I'm just taking some of Inika Organic's lip serum. I love prepping the lips before I apply any makeup with this product because by the time you come to do the lips at the end of your makeup application, they're beautiful and plump. Now taking the brow perfector in espresso, it makes applying brows so easy. Picking up all the brow hairs in stroking motions, this product actually colours in the brows, but it also applies some of the product onto the skin to make the brows look fuller. So now we're just popping on some of Inika Organic's Matte Perfection Primer. I love this product as well because it's got a beautiful tinted colour to it, so when you apply it to the face, it evens out the canvas. So primer's a necessity. It preps the skin before you apply foundation and keeps the skin beautiful and hydrated throughout the day, stops excess oil from coming through, and you'll notice a big difference with how even your foundation application looks. Now applying the Inika Organic Full Coverage Concealer in Sand, I'm going to be lining underneath our model's brows today to create the perfect defined brow shape. By concealing the brow on the top arch as well, you'll create more of a defined lifted brow. We want that lighter tone around the eyebrow to almost highlight that area. Be blending it all the way down the lid. By doing this, it allows your eyeshadow to stick and last longer throughout the day and show the true pigment of your eyeshadow. I'm just blending that product into the skin a little bit more, using that heat to create that really flawless application. Using the Baked Mineral Foundation Powder in Unity, I'm going to be dusting this really lightly over our model's eyes so that it sets the concealer underneath. So again, we have no movement with the shadow throughout the day, long lasting. Come in and put a little bit more of that powder, focusing on pressing it into the lid. So we get a nice light base to apply our eyeshadows to. I've chosen the eyeshadow palette in Chopped Coffee. I'm going to be focusing on using our darkest brown colour in this palette and only focusing on applying this right along that crease of that lid. I always start by doing what I call the sideways V, right in that inner corner of the eye because it's always the darkest area we want to create with our shadow. Now I'm bringing in that excess shadow up onto that eyelid, focusing on only applying it into that crease. So now using a blending brush, I'm going to be focusing on doing swiping motions, so backwards and forwards over the eyeshadow to really create a beautiful blend. When using darker colours, blending is probably the most important part of your makeup, especially when doing a smoky eye. We don't just want this blocky effect, we want a beautiful blended look. We want that sultry look. You'll also notice when blending, I always blend the outer eye first, then coming towards the inner eye, purely because we obviously want to blend the darker areas more than we do the lighter areas. So backwards and forwards motions. Circular motions on the outside to really buff that product in. Gold Oyster, I'm now going to apply our top gold colour on the inner lids of our model to create a beautiful golden tone. Always starting, you'll notice I start right on the center of the eye, purely because that's where most of our light hits. So I want majority of that pigment right in the center of that eye so that when the light hits the center of our model's eye, you see this beautiful glow of the color coming out. Grabbing our blending brush. Blending is an essential step between every color, so we're going to be doing our sweeping motions again, backwards and forwards. Blending our beautiful gold tone into the browns so that we can't see that obvious difference with color. Now we don't want to blend it too much because you don't want to remove too much of the product. You just really want to just make sure that they are tying in really nicely together. Almost like an ombre effect between the color tones. Now I'm going to be using my favorite loose mineral eyeshadow in the color Copper Crush. We're going to be applying a little bit of this, again, just on the lid, but I'm only going to be focusing on the center of the lid, just to bring out a little bit of that burst of color again. And focusing on that inner lid with this product, patting onto the area, and then we'll just blend ever so lightly into the inner lid there. Beautiful. And then blending the excess right into that inner corner of that eye. As you can see, these steps are actually so easy. All of you can create this look at home using these beautiful products. So using our chalk brown color in this palette, I'm just going to be using this on a lining brush and focusing on only popping this on the lash line itself, really pressing into that lash line. We're utilizing this like we would a liquid eyeliner without using a liquid eyeliner. It creates more of a softer look than a liquid eyeliner does. Lighter highlighted champagne tone in this palette. Using a very small brush, I'm going to be focusing this color only along the brow bone. I also come just underneath the fuller part of our brow. It creates a more lifted look, and it also again blends the brow into the eyeshadow. Also as well, guys, you'll notice using a smaller brush in this, the smaller the brush, the less likely you are to make a mistake. That's probably one of my biggest tips to anyone that's trying to learn how to do foundation looks. Always use smaller brushes as opposed to bigger brushes. The bigger the brush, the bigger the mistake. Next up, we're going to be using the chocolate brown color again, lining underneath our model's eyes to create this smoky effect. Pressing that product in, not sweeping the product into the eye. Really getting that right along that lash line, right into that inner corner. You always want more color on the outer of the eye and blending in using the excess on the inner corner of the eye. So using our beautiful champagne tone, I'm focusing on using this just on the inner corner of the eye or our tear trough. So really creating that beautiful highlighted effect. Cleaning up underneath the eye using an organic makeup wipe. This is one of the biggest tips as a makeup artist that I could give you guys. You'll obviously notice I've done our eyes before I've done any of our base, and the reason for this is because we are using quite dark pigments. There's nothing worse than if you were to put foundation on first, then come over and do the eyeshadow, and of course all the eyeshadow falls on the face. So now I always fold it into a rectangle square because we're really going to actually utilize the shape of this to actually clean up under the eye. So holding both corners, pulling up. And this is also how, as a makeup artist, we create that perfect wing to our shadow. So using the full coverage concealer in Shell, I'm going to be applying this all underneath our eye area here. Now you do blend this all the way down to your cheekbone. We want to really brighten this whole area. So I'm going to be blending two of our colours together from the Inika Liquid Foundation range today. We've got Tan and we've also got Cocoa here. Now we're coming up a little bit up to that inner eye. Now I'm only using a really light layer of this just to show you guys how to use your liquid foundation, because I'm then going to be showcasing our airbrush application. What I'm doing here is sectioning out the product to make sure I've got the face evenly covered with our foundation before we blend it into the skin. With our blending brush now, I'm going to be using this in circular motions to really blend this product into the skin, buff it into the skin, have no lines and create that flawless finish. I absolutely love the glow this foundation gives. It just creates the most beautiful flawless skin, which to be honest as a makeup artist I feel like everyone likes. So using the Spice Illuminizer Cream, I'm going to be applying this along Julia's cheekbones, down on the tip of the nose and also the bridge of our brows and just the start of the nose there, Cupid's bow. So by using this product, it keeps the skin looking nice and dewy and glowing, but as the light hits it throughout the day, you get this beautiful highlighted look. A little bit on that tip of the nose, above the brows. Anywhere I can usually add highlighter, I'll add it. I love highlighter. Mattifying powder, I'm going to just be dusting a really light layer of this over the face just to set our foundation underneath and again allow for a long lasting wear. So using a big powder brush, popping that on the brush, and I always start on the more oilier areas of the face, so we're focusing a lot more on the T-zone, down along the jawline and also just above the lip area. We really don't want to focus too much around the cheeks, they're the driest part of our face and we want to keep them quite highlighted. Down the neck, just to soak up all the oil. So using our Confidence Baked Mineral Powder Foundation, I'm going to be dusting this all over the face. What I love about this product is when you change over to certified organic products, it's different to conventional toxic products. The powder in certified organic products gives you more coverage than your liquids will. So we're relying on this, always patting this product on, and you can do a few circular motions, but I really don't want to move the foundation underneath. I'm purely putting this on to give us even more coverage than we currently have. Again, if you've got a drier skin, really focus this generally on the more oilier areas of your face and only using minimal amounts of the product. However, what I love too, as opposed to toxic conventional products, any certified organic products do not enhance the fine lines, pores or wrinkles, and they do not look heavy, dry or cakey. Using the Baked Mineral Bronzer in Sunbeam, I'm going to be framing the face today, so only applying it in what I call our 3 patterns, so starting from the forehead and working our way down the cheekbone and then down the jawline. Not focusing anywhere on the inner sides of the face because we want to make the face look more narrow and more defined. Really light pat of this. You only need the tiniest bit of this product, so really lightly patting that on the face, focusing on the outer areas first. Same on the other side, so really lightly coming down the cheekbone, down the jawline, Using the Baked Mineral bronzer again, I'm going to be using this as a blush along the cheekbone. Really light layer of this because I'm going to also be applying our highlighting powder over the top. So you'll notice I focus on the apples of the cheeks and then blend our excess powder up the cheekbone, doing circular motions. Using Baked Mineral Illuminizer in Dewdrop. This is probably one of my favorite steps when doing makeup. Just really finalizes the whole look. Of course, really focusing up on that top of the cheekbone and then blending your excess further down. You don't want too much product on the apples of the cheeks because that is where the light will be drawn. You want it more up along the top of the cheekbone so you create more of that higher cheekbone look with your contoured bronzer underneath there. Applying this along the top of the cheekbone, the bridges of the brows, the bridge of the nose and the tip, and again coming down underneath the lips again. Now just using the Dusty Rose lip liner pencil, I'm going to be lining the lips starting from the base. So you always again start from that inner section of the lip, working your way out. Really defining that Cupid's bow, really focusing on creating a cross on the lip so you can really make the top of that Cupid's bow look really defined. Then bringing down the side of the lip there. Using the Inika lip glaze in Blossom, just applying this all over the lip. I love these products because it allows you to not use a lipstick. They've got color in them. Super hydrating, high gloss. What I love as well is they don't bleed and they aren't sticky like genuine toxic glosses. Using the Long Lash Mascara, I'm just going to be applying this along the lashes, really light coat, and then also along the base. Using the brow defining palette in Chestnut. This palette is great for brows as well, but I'm only going to be using our wax in this today. In the brow to keep the brow hair up and also creates a beautiful shine in the brow. It's incredible.